dogs are not just their breed. So when looking for a dog, you think about what kind of dog you want, as in behavioral wise, and like what you're going to use them for. So some want working dogs, some want just pets, some want ones that will do agility courses. It varies between person to person, and it depends if you live on your own or if you live with someone or you have small children, because that is a determining factor as well. Dog stereotypes. So Chihuahuas are stereotyped to be very yippy and nappy dogs. Like, they will not stop biting you and nipping at your ankles. But that is because they are coddled and they're treated more like human babies than they are when they're like puppies. And that's not how they need to be treated. It leads to crucial damage on their behavior. And Dobermans. So Dobermans a lot are used for guard dogs, but they don't have to be a guard dog. So most of the time they're stereotyped as automatically being a type of dog that's a guard dog that will hurt you if you do anything close to their owners, and that is how their owners have trained them. It may have not been intentional, but when not socializing a dog properly, they say they see everybody as a threat to them or to the people or other dogs they care about. The same thing can be said with Rottweilers and Pit Bulls. Rottweilers are very protective and very loyal, which is a good quality as long as you take the proper precautions for it. Now, they are also another dog like Dobermans that are used as guard dogs. So this leads to these stereotypes where they are super aggressive towards everyone except for their owners, which will happen if they're not socialized properly. And then Pit Bulls. So Pit Bulls originally came from Bulldogs, and then those Bulldogs were bred with Terriers to make them smaller. And Pit Bulls are used in dogfights a lot. And since there's so many stereotypes about them being aggressive and just flat out mean and terrible dogs, hardly any Pit Bulls or pit mixes are ever adopted from shelters. And when they're not adopted, if it's not a humane shelter, they will get put down, even if the dog could be nice as can be. When I was helping in shelters, I met several Pit Bull mixes, and they were super sweet. And it's hard sometimes when you know a dog has been mistreated by people, but yet they still try so hard to love people in their own ways, of course. Okay. So honors and the way the dog is trained. So training is very crucial when having a dog, especially when they're young. You want to start out not super young, but it's also important to pick the kind of trainer you want. Personally, I don't train my dog with prong collars or shock collars. Now, my dog isn't like show dog quality or trained to be like a certain thing. He's a pet. As long as he will behave and not like try to hurt other people or dogs just because he's scared of them, so he doesn't act out on those fears. So what I do personally is to help train him. Well, I teach him a few tricks, of course. Now, he really only does them if you have a treat. But I also, when I don't have school or work, I take him out, and his brother, who's my neighbor's dog, I take them out to places when I'm allowed to. Like, I won't try to sneak them into a place they're not allowed to be in if they're not a service dog. And I totally get that, especially grocery stores. It's a germ thing. So, but I take my dogs to TJ Maxx or Home Goods because they're allowed in there. They allow dogs. Now, it does help my dogs are small, so if you have a bigger dog, it's a little bit harder to take them certain places. But I do that. I take them out. They meet strangers. I try to socialize them with other dogs who are good and already well behaved with other dogs. Now I don't take them to a dog park because I don't trust dog parks, mostly because of some of the people. But I will take them to a regular park, and I let people say hi to them as long as the dog is comfortable and as long as the person is comfortable. Because when people hear I have a Shih Tzu, they automatically assume, kind of like the Chihuahua, that they're going to be nippy and hate everyone that's not their owner. And my dog, he barks at you if he's in the house, but if you're in the house or he's outside, he loves people. And we're working on other dogs because they're just so much bigger than him. But it's very important when you socialize your dog. If you don't socialize them, they're terrified of people and other dogs. And so socializing them helps them not be scared, because dogs can't yell at you and you understand them. The way to get you to understand to back off is to react. And most of the time that is with growls and teeth. Now, they don't automatically bite you if they're not trained to hurt. They'll growl first, give you warnings. As long as you listen, you're fine. So in conclusion, the breed of your dog is a little bit of a key factor, because breeds have these kind of, like, say, golden retrievers are said to be very playful and active. And so if your dog isn't active or gets stimulation, it builds up and they need to set that stimulation that they need on something. So usually they'll like chew on stuff or do stuff they're not supposed to. So that's very common for them, and they're also supposed to be very puppy-like. Or, like I said, some people, when they have small dogs, they coddle them like they're a human child instead of a dog, and that leads to them hating everyone that's not their owner. But they also don't listen to their owners either, so it's a little bit of complication. So dogs and their personalities aren't based on their breed. Like, it's a 90% chance, like not 90, it's a 9% chance based off of breed, but most of it is training and how you work with your dog and how you raise your dog. So don't judge them based on their breed. If you're going to adopt a dog, look at some pit bulls. It's based on the dog themselves and not what they are, but who they are. Like with people, there shouldn't be as much hate as there is just because of the way something looks.